Never before has a game had such a grand diversity in its party members, while also having a larger than expected amount of them, and giving each one a staggering amount of depth. There are no two characters alike in the second Normandy crew, and while not all of them are absolute standouts, there's not a single one of them I would call outright terrible or boring. These party members are one of the greatest subversions of RPG party members I've ever seen. See, normally when a character joins your group, it's because their own goals happen to align with yours. They travel with you almost out of boredom, because it's not like they've got anything else to do, and you did just solve their biggest problem, so they might as well pack their bags and journey with you to fight God using the power of friendship. But the Mass Effect 2 crew loathe each other, and are working together purely because it benefits them as an individual. It's astonishing how BioWare was able to craft so many distinct motivations that are all interwoven with working with Cerberus to take down the Collectors. Everyone has a different reason for being on the ship, ranging from the noblest of intentions to the selfishest of desires. No one is here because they trust Shepard or even like them. When you make the rounds after every mission to learn more about your crew, there's a palpable crackle of tension in the air, as you can tell that everyone has it out for someone else. Even the ever-bubbly Tali bares her fangs once Legion comes on board. The entire ship is a melting pot waiting to explode. And that's where the primary story of Mass Effect 2 comes into play, fixing up all of these deeply broken people. See, I'm of the unpopular opinion that Mass Effect 2 should have come before Mass Effect 1, as the game spends its entire runtime spinning its wheels on the Reaper cliffhanger from the last game to tell an ultimately superfluous heist story. An amazing story, no doubt, but one that doesn't really serve the overarching plot beyond fleshing out the universe, which is usually what stories should start with. So I feel as though Mass Effect 1 should have been about gathering a massive crew, then seeing their numbers dwindle thanks to your choices across the two sequels. But what Mass Effect 2 loses in its main narrative, it more than makes up for in its characters. After all, they're the main focus now. The plot of Mass Effect 2 is putting together a crew to head through the Omega-4 relay, and building up that crew enough so that they'll survive the mission. This is done through the episodic loyalty missions, which give extraordinary amounts of depth to each character, making for the most nuanced party BioWare has ever produced, creating some of the most likable and intriguing characters in the RPG genre. This method of storytelling was so successful that they recreated this story structure in the Veilguard, but instead of a large quantity of characters with one loyalty mission each, they opted for a smaller team with multiple quests tied to each character's arc. A fine idea in practice, but with fewer characters, it means that when some of them didn't connect with their audience, it hurt the game more. So the powerful effect of Davrin and Emmerich's questline were lessened thanks to the mediocrity of Harding's and Lucanus's. I mean, if Mass Effect 2's crew was Jacob, Zaid, Samara, Kasumi, and Grunt, I don't think we'd look so favourably upon this game. But they're outweighed by the excellence of Garrus, Tali, Mordin, Legion, Miranda, Jack, and Thane, so the lesser party members are easily overshadowed by the better written ones. But spending so much time developing the party and getting them to work together as a team is so effective because failure to coordinate results in devastating consequences. The fact that no one is safe is something most people don't realize until it's too late. When I lost Garrus early in the suicide mission, that's when my stomach sank, and I realized that my entire party was at risk. When you realize for the first time that this game is going to have real consequences not only for the ending, but eventual sequel, is when you truly connect with your crew as a player, because now you have something to lose. There has never been a mission where your choices had more impact, reaching beyond this singular game, and every decision puts your crew's lives in the balance. Mass Effect 2 did more than the impossible for an RPG's party, boasting a healthy size, depth, and quality of companions, and then forces you to play a dangerous game where the characters you've spent the last 40 hours building up can all disappear in an instant because of your poor planning. I'll be back in 2 days. In the meantime, here's a video about how Garrus deserves his own spin-off game.